Hello everyone, my name is Karina Gregorio and I am going to be presenting on elephantiasis. Elephantiasis actually has a major effect on your lymphatic system. So we are first going to start by talking about the lymphatic system and its roles. Your lymphatic system is continuous with your cardiovascular system, and there are three roles. The first one is to transport fat from your diet. When you eat food that has fat, they are extremely hydrophobic and they tend to clump up into globs. Your blood capillaries are responsible for absorbing the food that you eat, but their capillaries are too small to absorb the fat. So your lymphatic capillaries are going to absorb the fat, transport it through the lymphatic system, and then dump it back into the cardiovascular system. This is what I mean when I say your lymphatic system is continuous with your cardiovascular system, because they work hand in hand. The second role is to drain excess fluid. There's a lot of interstitial fluid between your cells, and you don't want this fluid to accumulate because if you do, it can cause swelling. So what your lymphatic system does is it drains this excess fluid for you. The third role actually has to go with immunity. So your lymphatic system will store some of the immune cells and then launch them as a defense response when you have a pathogen in your system that you need to get rid of. Helminths are parasitic worms. There are three types of parasitic worms: flukes, tapeworms, and nematodes. Elephantiasis is caused by nematodes, which are rounded worms. There are three types of these rounded worms that cause this disease. The first one is Wucheria bancrofti, which is responsible for 90% of the infection. The second one is Brugia malai, which is responsible for the remainder of the cases. And the last one is Brugia timori. These worms are responsible for causing direct damage to the tissue. They can also accumulate waste, and this waste is toxic to us. And it can also cause allergic reactions. Now we are going to talk about the life cycle of filarial worms. The two common species of filarial worms are Wucheria bancrofti and Brugia malai. These are responsible for elephantiasis. They are found in countries that are tropical and over 250 million people are infected. They are thread-like nematodes that live in the lymphatic system. The life cycle of the filarial worm begins when a mosquito bites a human. It'll insert its larvae into the human body, and that larvae will travel to the lymphatic duct. And there, it'll be able to grow up and reproduce because the lymphatic ducts provide all the nutrients it needs to do so. That offspring that it produces is known as microfibriae. the microfibrillae are what the mosquito will pick up and use to transport to the next human host to keep on infecting and continue that life cycle. It is important to note that Wuchereria bancrofti are actually not very picky, so they can reside in any lymphatic duct. But Brugia malai are pickier, and they like to reside in the heart, the lung, and the testes, so you can oftentimes find them there. It is also important to note that Wuchereria bancrofti and Brugia malai are actually cousins. They are part of the same species. They are not the same. Brugia malai is actually smaller than Wuchereria bancrofti. So your filarial worms that are in your lymphatic ducts are constantly reproducing, and their offspring, because they are being produced so much, they are clogging up your lymphatic ducts, and they are making it impossible for you to be able to drain that lymphatic fluid. And when you can't drain that lymphatic fluid, you're going to experience inflammation. So that's why with elephantiasis, you're experiencing that inflammation of a certain body part because you are unable to drain that fluid because your lymphatic ducts are backed up with worms. So the treatment to combat this is a combination of drugs, and these drugs are going to be able to clear out the microvilli from your blood. And these drugs are listed below: albendazole, ivermectin, and dithicarbamazine citrate. With these drugs, you can eliminate the worms from your body so that you can begin to get your interstitial fluid going again, and you will not experience any more inflammation. So your filarial, I decided to include a video about what it is like to live with elephantiasis. In this video, Mike explains what it is like to live with elephantiasis and how he combats it and how he does not let it affect his daily life and continues to be positive about it. I think it is a very interesting video, and it definitely shows what it is like to have to endure this condition. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.